Hi there, guys. So today starts our planning phase of our laser maze activity. So in our activity, what I'm going to do, or your goal, is you're going to use the law of reflection to set up 5 mirrors. You have to at least have 5 mirrors, and then you're going to have one target. I'm going to take a high, tech or a high concentrated laser, so it's a pretty decent laser, and I'm going to shine it on all of your mirrors, and hopefully that laser eventually hits your target. So that's your goal, but you have to use the laser or the law of reflection in order to design it. So that's what today is about. Today is learning about the law of reflection. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to set up our notebook so that we can prepare our notes, and then we can start our planning phase when we get back to school tomorrow. So to start us off, let's go ahead and title in our notebook, Laser Maze. And go ahead and make sure you pause the video and add this to your table of contents. Okay, so Laser Maze is what we're taking notes over. When you're done, let's write in the law of reflection. Now, we should have already talked about this already because we're doing that jigsaw activity, but the law of reflection, we want to write that in as well because it's basically how we're designing and why we're even making our laser maze. So then next, let's think about the law of reflection. Let's think about all the terms we've talked about before we write anything down. So right here, I have the laser on in this gizmo, and right now you're seeing this green line, and that's basically something called the normal. The normal is a perpendicular line. It's imaginary. It's not actually a line that's going to split the mirror, okay, but it's a perpendicular line that is going to go straight into the mirror, and that's basically wherever the laser is going to hit on your mirror, that's where we draw our normal. We draw it at 90 degrees. So basically right now, the laser, there's only the angle of reflection shown right here, and you can kind of see that here. And that's just because the mirror is hitting, or the laser is hitting the mirror dead on or straight on. But when I turn my mirror a little bit, we start to see the angle of incidence. That's what that symbol stands for right here, and then the little I. So the angle of incidence is the angle at which the laser is hitting the mirror, and then we see the angle of reflection, and that's the angle at which it's reflected off. Okay, so as you notice right here, these look pretty similar. And if we were to use a protractor, you would find, so here's the normal, okay, it hits the protractor directly at the very, very top, so at 90 degrees. If you were to count, and if every one of these was 10, the white lines, if you were to count, this is 10, 20, 30. Okay, and then I go over here, we count 10, 20, 30. You would see that the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. And that's what the law of reflection states. So let's write that down. So let's write down angle of incidence. Let's make sure I spell this right, because I am not always the best speller. Not this, we want this. So incident. So the angle of incident equals angle of reflection. Okay, so that's what the law of reflection states, that those two angles are equal to each other. So when drawing our laser maze, the first thing that we need to do, and you're writing this down along with me, so make sure that you have notes that look like this. I will be checking them tomorrow. You won't be able to start your maze until I see your notes. So make sure you're watching, or I hope you're watching and you're writing down notes. So our first step into designing our laser maze is pick a starting point for the laser. So let's write that down. Pick a start or a starting point for the laser. So for instance, if I have my piece of paper, so I'm going to be giving you guys a nice long sheet of paper. If I have a piece of paper, my laser, so the laser is going to be like about this big. It's a large laser, and it's about like this wide. Okay, so with that being said, your laser can't start in the middle. Okay, your laser has to start on the outside edges. So let's say my start point you're going to tell me to start the laser right here. I'm going to use S for start. So that means the laser is going to start here and it's going to shine this way. Okay, and I'm going to draw little arrows showing that the light is going this way. Okay, your laser does not have to start there. It can start anywhere along the edges of the paper, but it does have to start on the outside. So that's step one, choosing where it's going to start. Step two is then using the law of reflection to place your mirror. So use law of reflection to place your mirrors. So now, how do you do this? The first step is, let's say that I am going to draw and my laser is coming in on a straight line. And when you're doing this, you're going to want to use a straight edge because your light is going to travel in a really straight line. If you don't use a straight edge in this lesson or in this activity, your laser will not hit each maze and it's not going to hit the target. So the first thing we have to do is draw the mirror. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to draw a mirror and I'm going to use the straight edge. For now, I'm going to use a protractor. You don't have a protractor with you right now, and that's okay, but use a straight edge. So this right here is step one. Draw mirror. So step one is drawing the mirror. So if I were doing this on my piece of paper, let's say I would want to draw my mirror and I would want it to look like this. And I would want my mirror to go that way. Okay, step one is drawing that mirror. Step two is then drawing the angle of incidence or drawing in the laser. So let's say my laser comes in right here. And so this right here is step two. And I'm going to write draw laser. So I'm going to use a little arrow showing that the light is traveling this way. Step three is drawing normal. So what I need to do is I need to put my protractor. So there's lines on the protractor that you can see. There's a line right here, this black line here, and then there's that circle. We're going to put that circle so that it hits right where that laser hit the mirror. So do you see where that is? And we're going to draw the normal. So that's what this is right here. And so I'm going to actually, there's another circle at 90 degrees. So I put that circle here. So I'm going to trace a line. So I'm going to put it so it ends up where I put that there. And I'm going to make a line, a dotted line, drawing the normal. So that's step three. Draw normal. Okay, so step three is drawing the normal. And then step four is finding what this angle is. Step four, I'm going to put step four over here because it's so small. Find, this means angle of incidence. Find that OI. Okay, so what I do is I go over here and maybe I need to extend this a little bit more so I can see it better. So I'm going to set this up. So again, it's right in the middle where they're touching. I'm going to make sure my 90 degrees is over. And I'm basically going to count over. So here's 90, 100, and 110. So it looks like it's about 20 degrees over. So if I find this, so this is 20 degrees. So that's 20 degrees. That means if that angle is 20 degrees, the other angle should be 20 degrees. So I'm going to line up my protractor again, make sure it's on the dot, make sure it's in the middle of the paper, and I'm going to count over. Here's 10 and here's 20, and I'm going to draw a dot here, and I'm going to now connect that line. So I'm going to make sure I'm over here and connect it going this way. And so this should also be 20 degrees. Okay, so that's step five. So 5, draw reflection. So then what you do is you just keep drawing. And so after you would do that whole step or this whole process for this mirror up here, you would then draw the angle of reflection, which now becomes the angle of incidence. And let's say you draw another mirror. Okay, you would do the same steps and then you would keep drawing. Okay, and so that, guys, is how we are going to do this project. What I would like you to do on the back side of your notebook is I would like you to think of a design. So remember, you have to have at least 5 mirrors, and you're going to have a target. I'll have a target. It's just going to be a note card. It's going to have to just hit that note card. Or maybe I'll make it even more fun and I'll bring like one of my baby's toys and have it hit the baby's toys. But yes, I would like you to plan out your maze so that you can come into class tomorrow and you can already get started. Our goal is to be getting our test or like our laser maze like set up by Friday, testing them out and doing all of that by Friday. So I hope this helps, and I look forward to doing this with you guys and seeing what you guys have planned out and seeing how many mirrors that you can get the laser to hit. We can do an extra credit thing. How about for every mirror up to, let's say, up to 5 mirrors, okay, every mirror up to 5 mirrors, I would give you 2 extra credit points. So that could be potential 10 extra credit points. So that's almost an entire homework assignment. So with that being said, go ahead and get this in. If you are a virtual learner, you will be doing your laser maze. It'll be digital. And so I'll have that set up for you tomorrow. So don't worry about trying to figure that out today. We'll have it set up for you guys tomorrow, and I'll have a video for you. All right. I hope everyone has a great day.